Just before we get started, yes! I'm producing an album right now, and I opened pre-orders on Kickstarter, and we have doubled the goal. That has made me really, really excited and really happy, and I'd like to thank everyone who has pre-ordered it. If you haven't, you still have a little time to join the Kickstarter, which includes an exclusive 2-disc special edition and a discount on the license version. Also, if you don't want to or can't use Kickstarter, I've opened up direct PayPal pre-orders on the website, which have the same options available for the same amount of time. The links to all of that will be in the down. So I love rap music. I love it so much. I thought it was a phase I was going through, and then it lasted for 5 years. And if you are like me, you probably have a very, very long list of favorites, and you should post them in the comments below. I've selected 5 of my favorite hip-hop tracks, and I'm going to share them with you right now. The first one I've mentioned is the most recent addition to the team. It is called Worst Behaviour by Drake. It's produced by DJ Dahi, and the percussion. It's so good. Throughout most of the track there is this gorgeous trebly line of synthesized clicking sounds whose pitch is being altered up and down to give them a discordant melodic feel, but that also doesn't get in the way of the actual tones. Then the very wide, slightly grungy bass comes in and gives the whole thing a much deeper feel. This is all complemented by Drake's pretty predictable choice of EQ on his vocals that give it a very tinny and slightly reverbed feel. It's very easy to walk down the street listening to this and just feel like the coolest human being who has ever freaking lived. And that's a winner in my book. The second track on my list is Martians vs. Goblins by The Game, produced by a team called 1500 or Nothing. This is on an album called The Red Album, which is one of the best produced rap records I've ever heard, and I recommend it to anyone who loves hip-hop. It's dark, it's droning, it's moody, it's grungy, but it has a bit of crisp percussion keeping the definition. The best bit in the whole track is Tyler the Creator's verse, which carries his signature disregard for rules and conventions and is disgustingly obscene and hilariously brilliant. And the worst part of the track is Game's verse, which comes afterwards and is basically toilet humor. Game, stop ruining your own music. Number 3 is a track called Outro by Lil Wayne, produced by a guy called Willie Will. Again, in my opinion, Lil Wayne is an artist who shoots himself in the foot, as evidenced by the fact that I only really listened to intro, interlude, and outro on this album, The Carter 4. It's got a pretty minimal texture to it, with brassy samples and synths being complemented by these crazy, slightly over-the-top but very precise programmed beats, and it is full from start to finish with really high quality, really memorable, fantastic verses by loads of featuring artists, none of whom are Lil Wayne, which culminates in Busta Rhymes delivering one of the best verses of his entire career, stealing the show, dropping the mic, ending the album, and ruining Lil Wayne's life, presumably. Hopefully. It's so good. It is so good. Number 4 on my list for you today is Hive by Earl Sweatshirt, produced by Martians. As with a lot of Earl's and other Odd Future members' stuff, it's almost lo-fi, but it sounds incredible. It's full of representatively very clever and cryptic lyrics, and although the guests on the track are not as good as Earl himself, they are still damn good. It's a very cynical track made for feeling cool but not wanting to talk to anyone, and I will play it very, very loud at every opportunity. The 5th and final track that I'm mentioning today is a pretty old one that you might not actually be able to get a hold of. It's called Grind by Childish Gambino, and it's from an album called Poindexter that he released for free on his blog around the time that he was working on the Mystery Team movie with the rest of Derek Comedy. For those of you who don't know, Childish Gambino is Donald Glover, the actor who is currently most famous for being in Community. He also has a rap career, and he makes really, really interesting stuff. His most recent album, Because the Internet, is fantastic experimental hip-hop with a lot to say and a lot of interesting sounds. The grind is one of my old favorites that I keep coming back to. It's super smooth, which makes it very different from all the other tracks on this list. It features, in my opinion, a really tasteful use of vocoder and autotune, which is hard to come by. And important to me, tracks like Grind show that homemade hip-hop can sound incredible. Listening to old Childish Gambino, old Tyler the Creator, old Earl Sweatshirt tells me that great sounds can be made with the equipment that I have access to now. So those are 5 of my favorite hip-hop tracks. I hope that you will go and find them and listen to them. Even if you're not a fan of hip-hop, maybe these are the gateway tracks that get you interested in what has become one of my favorite genres. Make sure to check the links in the description to find out about the music I'm making, and I will see you next time.